Welcome into Giants Postgame Wrap-Up presented by Mercedes-Benz, the official luxury automobile of the New York Football Giants. I'm Madelyn, Burke, joined by Super Bowl champion Victor Cruz. Vic, Giants went out to L.A., played their first game at the new SoFi Stadium, but fell to the Rams 17-9 Sunday afternoon. What was your first reaction to that one?
Yeah, just a hard-fought game by the Giants. I think, first of all, you got to acknowledge the defense because defensively they just did an amazing job keeping this team in check, almost dominant at times. And then offensively, they did a good job getting into the red zone. Just a tough time just competing and getting 7 points out of those drives. I think that was pretty much the tale of the game.
Absolutely. And I mean, this game was a lot closer than a lot of people thought it would be leading up to it. It really came down to that final drive, fourth quarter, just over 2 minutes to play. Daniel Jones, first play of that drive, connects with Darius Slayton on a 33-yard gain right there.
It's good to see them connect like that. Good job by the pocket, giving him the time. Obviously, DJ Houdini right here, getting out of there. I don't even know how he escaped that thing, but he did a good job in this game, doing things with his legs, extending plays, giving his team more life.
And this one right here, though, this is the last play of that drive. Daniel Jones looking for his receiver over there, picked off by Darius Williams. It was just a bit of a heartbreaker.
Yeah, just a heartbreaker. They fought so hard to get themselves there and give themselves an opportunity to score. Just an errant pass at the very end there to pretty much seal the deal.
When you look at that last play, what do you see as a receiver?
Well, at least for me, I'm just trying to make a play. Obviously, it's the last play of the game. You know everything's on the line. You're just trying to, whatever play call is actually called, you want to find yourself in that position in a timely manner so that your quarterback can depend on you and make a play on the ball.
Absolutely. Daniel Jones, he's, scrambling a little bit. Seems like he's making that play on the move. But there were a lot of positives to take from that last drive as well. I mean, what are some of the things that stood out to you?
Yeah, obviously the running game got going today a little bit more. And obviously throughout that last drive, Daniel Jones just making things happen, just taking what the defense gives him, taking those rushing yards, getting out of bounds, extending plays. That's what you want to see out of your guy. That's what you want to see out of your quarterback. And obviously getting the ball to Evan Ingram on those under routes. Some of those things that were getting going throughout the course of this game was really, really fun to watch.
I mean, you saw that 136 yards on the ground for this Giants team, a long being 26-yard gain from Wayne Gallman, his career long right there. Wayne Gallman, look at this right here, getting going, popping it out.
Yeah, obviously we knew when Saquon got hurt it was going to be running back by committee, and I think they just need to give this offense some energy in the running game to just keep defenses honest. And it was good to see Wayne Gallman get out and have this run. It was good to see Devontae Freeman get out and have that pop back in his step. And it was good to see all these running backs kind of get themselves going a little bit as Freeman makes his move right here. That was that pop that I was talking about, that old Devontae MVP Freeman kind of pop right there. And that's what you want to see from your running back stable in a game like this.
Yeah, there was some, continuity right there, and you see right here the leading rushers, not just Daniel Jones, who had been leading for the first 3 weeks of the season. Wayne Gallman, Devontae Freeman, all putting yards on the ground, and this Giants team also outgained the Rams on the ground, which is significant.
Exactly, and as a receiver, you're happy about this because you understand that if that running game gets going, that means it opens up the play-action pass, that means it sucks up the linebackers, that means it opens up those lanes for you to get behind the defense and even hit some big-time throws down the field, which we all know Daniel Jones can complete.
And this is one of those things, too. It's week 4 of this season, obviously a rough start for this Giants team, but each week there are moments of growth. There are points of growth that this team can build on. And as you mentioned earlier, too, the defense, a really great performance from this defense. We heard from James Bradberry, who addressed the media. Take a listen.
We just expect to go out there and dominate. That's our whole motto. Whether it's a win or a loss, we need to go out there and dominate and show that we're a dominant force. And, if they don't score, they don't win. That's the point at the end of the day.
James Bradberry, he's been a really great addition to this Giants defense so far. I mean, the fact that they held the Rams to 17 points and they really kind of kept the offense in it, what do you make of that?
Well, I think, first of all, Bradberry might be the MVP of this team through the first 4 games, in my opinion, just the way that he's brought his leadership and his playmaking ability from the corner position. But I think if you can go into each game with knowing what this defense can bring, knowing that they're going to be tough to get across on third downs, knowing that you're going to have to fight, scratch, and claw to get a pass down the field on them because they're blanketing receivers on the perimeter, I think that's something that you can build on this team. And I think you saw it as the course of this game went on. The defense got more and more confident, and you saw the Rams struggle. Couldn't get the ball downfield, struggled on third down in certain plays, and couldn't run the ball efficiently, opposite what the Giants could do today. So you saw that Giants defense really hone in and anchor down on this Rams offense, and it was fun to watch.
And not just in the secondary, too. At the line, we saw Dalvin Tomlinson bat down a ball. We saw this is every game this season the Giants have had at least 2 sacks. Gotta love to see that progress for this Giants defense.
Absolutely.
All right, we got a lot more coming up after this break. We'll hear from Blake Martinez, we'll hear from Daniel Jones, and we'll hear from head coach Joe Judge as we return here on Giants Post-Game Wrap-Up presented by Mercedes-Benz. Welcome into Giants Post-Game Wrap-Up presented by Mercedes-Benz. Giants went out to Los Angeles, fell to the Rams 17-9 in their first game in Los Angeles in 26 years. After the game, Joe Judge spoke to the media. This presented by Toyota.
All right, guys, obviously we came up a little short today. I'm proud of the way our guys fought. I'm proud of the way they played. We got to make sure we clean up and eliminate some mistakes and keep making more positive plays going down the stretch. I'm proud of the way they fought. They're an improved team from last week. I'm proud of the way they worked last week. I'm proud of the improvement they made. We got to keep pushing on and making strides going forward. Obviously, we're going to a tough stretch right now with the division, so we can't afford to make these mistakes. Obviously, we're anxious already to get back on the grass and start working. We'll start immediately with watching the tape tonight as coaches, improve what we can. Then we'll fly back tomorrow and get with the team on Wednesday. That being said, I'll open up for any questions right now that I can answer.
Dougie?
Hey, Joe. First off, what's your reaction to the fight with Golden Tate and Jalen Ramsey after the game?
You know, I got to see and find out all the details right there, Dan. I don't have anything right there, not yet anyway. Obviously, we want to do our fight in between the whistles for 60 minutes. I don't know all the details, so I'm going to hold and reserve comment on that until I find out everything.
And then on the 4th and 4, about 10 minutes left, decision to punt there. Just went into that.
Yeah, we were playing good defense. We had field position. We wanted to win right there, put them on back there. I thought it was a good time to, put the ball to our defense and let them play. So,
Bruce Beck?
Coach, how do you build on an effort like this going forward?
the same way we build every week, Bruce. You go in there, you show them the tape, you show the evidence of what we did right to make improvements. You show them what happened wrong that we have to clean up, and then you shift your focus to the next opponent. You got to keep on moving. You can't ride a roller coaster in this league. It's a long season. There's a lot of ball to be played. Like I said, we're an improved team from last week. I'm proud of the way the guys worked the entire week. I'm proud of how they fought today. We've got to make sure we don't have self-inflicted wounds that stop us from having the wins we need.
Hi, Leonard.
Joe, what do you think is stopping your offense from getting in the end zone?
You know, Pat, I got to go ahead and look at all the tape. I was proud of the way they moved the ball today on that. I thought we were more balanced. When we had to run the ball at the end of the game, we were able to make some chunk runs. We threw the ball in tough situations, had to make some passes. We stuck with the plan throughout the game. So, we've got to obviously take a look at that. Any adjustments we have to make, we will. But today, it was a different situation. We just stuck with the plan.
On that late touchdown, how much did Colbert help you as your free safety, and how big was losing him on that key touchdown there?
Yeah, I think AC did a good job for the most part in the game. Obviously, I got to look at the tape and kind of dissect every play, but he came out, he played a good game. Julian went back in there. We have a lot of faith in Julian as well. So, look, all the guys that come to the game for us, they're all going to play. Everyone's got a role in every game. So whoever's in there has to be accountable for the plays on the field.
Zach?
Joe, jumping off Pat's first question, the offense has scored, I think, 3 touchdowns in 4 games and hasn't scored a touchdown in the last 2 weeks. I'm just curious, what makes you think that this group can improve on that based on what you've seen so far? Yeah, the focus is going back to work right now and doing everything we can to match up against the opponents going forward. So we've got to build on what we have and who we have available, and we got to make sure we put them in the best situations to be successful. And did you see what went wrong on the Cooper Kupp touchdown? It looked like maybe there's a miscommunication there or something. Obviously, any time that there's a touchdown, nothing went exactly right. So we've got to look and make sure we identify the breakdown, correct it going forward.
Tom Rock?
Joe, did you talk to Daniel about the last throw, and do you think he could have run there with the timeout in your pocket?
Again, obviously, it's easy on the sideline or watching on TV, than different than what he may see in his own eyes. We'll go through the tape collectively with the team tomorrow morning before we take off and head back to New Jersey. But I haven't spoken to Daniel specifically just yet about that.
Do you feel like this season starts next week against the Cowboys because of the way the division is lined up?
I think it's important for us next week as we start a division run that we play our best football.
Joe, the offensive line, 5 sacks. It would have been 6 without a penalty. I think 4 were early in the game. What did you think of their play? Did they get better? And does Daniel Jones and the receivers, are they contributing to this pressure? Daniel holding the ball and the receivers not getting open.
Well, first off, there's never one person who's responsible for everything, okay? It's a team game. All the pieces have to fit together, and everything complements each other. You know, in terms specifically to the offensive line, I did see an improved unit this week. I think these guys are getting better overall. You play a team like the Rams, who's got an outstanding pass rush, you just can't lose your mind when they make plays. You have to move on to the next play and keep pushing forward to be productive. That being said, we've got to eliminate some of the easy plays we made for them early in the game. And when it came down the stretch, I like the way the offensive line really played and stood in there. I thought they held up for the most part against a very stout rush. Obviously not enough to take some of the production off the line, all right, that the Rams have, but you play a good defense like the Rams, they're going to make some plays too.
Hey, Joe, you had Matt Parrott out there at right tackle late in the first half, and then Cam came back, obviously, to start the third quarter. We didn't see anything injury-wise. Was that a coach's decision, and what was behind the move, and then to go back to Cam?
No, we're just going to play all the guys who are at the game, Art. So there's really nothing, that happened in the game that dictated anything that, we did substitution-wise on either side of the ball. But we go into every game. We take guys at the game. We have a plan for how we're going to use them. Maybe it's situationally in a certain substitution package or for a certain play. And maybe it's just want to get them out there and get them a couple series under the belt. These are young guys. Obviously, they didn't have a preseason to really gain experience. So we've got to build them in throughout the season of using them selectively to give them some experience on the field.
Joe, just wanted to ask 2 fourth-down situations, I think, in the second half where in Rams territory where you chose to punt. That just a matter of trusting your defense?
It's just the best decision we thought at the time for the team. Our defense was playing good. We're winning the field position. We want to put them on down there on a long field and let our defense play. I think we've gone on enough fourth downs. We're not afraid to go for it at the right time, but I've got to call it based on what I think is best for the team at that time.
Thank you.
Mark?
Yeah, Joe, I know it's hard to extract positive stuff when you're 0-4 and whatnot, but can you speak to what your defense did today? I mean, the Rams were a pretty high-powered group coming in. You held them to maybe almost half of what they've been gaining. And what kind of hope does that give you moving forward here a little bit as you kind of try to pluck some positive things out of here?
Look, I love the way our defense is playing right now. Obviously, third down's been a big emphasis for us as a team. They improved on that today. They've been a good early down defense as well. I like the way our front plays, our back end's improving on a weekly basis. We have good energy. We're getting great communication across the board. I think Pat and his staff are doing a great job calling this right here. I'm proud of the way the guys work every week to improve and get better, and I like the way they fought today.
That was Giants head coach Joe Judge. That sound brought to you by Toyota, the official vehicle of the New York Giants. Victor, one of the things that he said at the beginning of that is that this Giants team is going to fly back tomorrow, Monday, instead of right after the game. Obviously doing that because, getting those players that rest and that extra time before they get on a plane again. But how taxing is that cross-country travel on your body, especially after a game?
It's very taxing, and I think it's smart to kind of stay there, let the juices come down, let the adrenaline kind of come down, get a good night's rest under your belt, and then leave the next day so that you come back and you start your work week, you're refreshed, you feel a little bit more, you feel a little bit better, you have a little bit more energy as opposed to coming back right after a game, coming back in the wee hours of the morning, trying to get a few hours of sleep. Then you're playing catch-up, really, the rest of the week. So it's good for those guys to get a good, healthy rest before they get back.
And Joe Judge obviously addressing that they had a lot of things that they want to work on. They built on things so far this season, things to build on as they head into this division stretch. One of the tough parts for this team, though, is the inability to convert in the end zone. They haven't had a touchdown in 2 games. It's been 134 game minutes since the Giants have scored a touchdown. Why has that been such a struggle for this team?
It just has to be execution because they're getting down there. They're getting into the red zone. They're fighting and scratching their way into position to score points and to get in the end zone, but they're just not doing it. And sometimes it's just maybe it's decision making, maybe it's a guy going left when he should be going right, or button hooking when he should be running to the corner route. There's so many little nuances of the game that you don't know what could be happening, especially in the red zone where it shrinks, the field shrinks down, and you got to find those tight windows and be really precise with the football, and they're just not executing at a high level right now.
Yeah, that defense really compacts in that red zone situation. All right, well, we've got a lot more coming up for you on the show. We'll hear from Giants quarterback Daniel Jones after the break. That and much more coming up on Giants Postgame Wrap-Up presented by Mercedes-Benz. Tonight's scoring drive of the game is brought to you by Investors Bank. Get the official New York Giants checking account only from Investors Bank. Visit investorsbank.com/Giants for more details. Scoring drive of the game comes to you from late in the third quarter. Giants going for it on 4th and 1. Daniel Jones connects with Caden Smith to move the chains. Then Darius Slayton picks up an 8-yard game, and the Giants got the run game going. Devontae Freeman with a 10-yard run here sets up Graham Gano for this 27-yard field goal, puts the Giants within one late in the third quarter. 11 plays, 48 yards, 6:14 off the clock. Finished with that Graham Gano 27-yard field goal heading into the half. That was your Investors Bank drive of the game. Now we're going to send it down to Los Angeles, where Daniel Jones is addressing the media.
Frustrating, for me. They're at the end of the game with a chance to, score and go for two, tie up the game, and, to not do that's certainly frustrating. So, got to stay at it and learn and keep moving forward.
What can you learn from a moment like that or the pick at the end of the game last week?
Just can't force the ball in those situations.
Thanks.
Bruce Beck.
Daniel, what will it take to generate points in your mind here for this offense?
Just got to execute. When we get down in scoring position, I think, we've hurt ourselves in a lot of those situations and have to be better and can't afford, negative plays, can't afford penalties and just have to take advantage of the opportunities we have. So just got to execute in those situations.
That was Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, brought to you by Toyota. Victor, obviously a tough finish for this game. As a teammate, how do you kind of keep your quarterback's confidence up after a moment like that?
I think it's just communication. I think when you're out there on the football field, on the practice field with him, talking to him, making sure you understand what he's seeing, that you guys are on the same page, especially in that red zone. Obviously, in the open field, they have no problem making those plays. You saw Evan Ingram have a nice day today. They connected on a few nice third downs. It's good to kind of see those guys kind of come to fruition and make plays. They just have to make sure they extend that and build upon that week to week as execution, which you heard Daniel Jones talk about execution. That has to be the focal point for Coach Joe Judge this week. Execution
seems to be the word of the day here. The Giants will continue to build on that as that season keeps going, and we've got a lot more to keep going here on this show after this short break. We'll be right back here with more on Giants Postgame Wrap-Up presented by Mercedes-Benz, the official luxury automobile of the New York Football Giants.
Very physical today. Coach Judge has talked about how they always emphasize being physical, but today, how was your role? How was you assess the way your defense played? Physicality-wise, and you held this team to 240 yards. What was the key to that today?
Yeah, we've been kind of saying it each and every week. I think a lot of people didn't take it seriously when we were saying it. It was just every single week we're hurting ourselves. There's nothing teams are doing that we can't stop. No matter who's out there, who's on the field, who's up, what personnel we have in, we can go and compete against anybody. And I think today we showed that, but we also showed the things that are hurting us. We just got to keep fixing those things and keep kind of minimizing those as much as possible.
That was Blake Martinez. Victor, he led the Giants once again, 13 total tackles, 8 solo right there. But again, we talked about how important the defense was in this performance and how important it will be for them going forward. What is one thing that you want to see this defense continue to focus on?
I just love the way that they just anchor down on third down. I think if they can hang their hats on bending but don't break on third downs and get off the field and give their offense a chance, they can definitely build on something like that. And Daniel Jones will have more opportunities to go out there and play and score touchdowns for this team, and it starts with that defense leading the way.
And it starts with this tough stretch going forward, too. The Giants are getting into the division part of their schedule here. Next week, they're going to be at the Cowboys Sunday at 4:25 p.m. Victor, the Cowboys, once again today, they were down 41-14 to the Browns going into the fourth quarter. They mounted a comeback, ended up losing 49-38. It's the second week in a row the Cowboys have mounted some huge late-game comebacks there. What is your initial projection for this matchup?
Well, obviously the Cowboys are coming in, you know, confidence is low for them right now. Obviously they're coming off 2 back-to-back weeks where they give up huge leads. So the Giants have to be prepared to play against a team that's going to be ready for them now. The Cowboys understand that they're coming and that they understand exactly how they need to play to combat the fire that the Cowboys are going to bring, because they're looking at the Giants, obviously winless at the moment, and they're going to be licking their chops to get another victory. But the Giants can win if that defense plays the way they did today in that dominant fashion, and Daniel Jones can find ways to get in the end zone.
Obviously, that NFC East, though, is much a tough start this season that the Giants have had. The NFC East is still up for grabs. Getting those division wins are key, and you know that Cowboys game always brings a little extra fire in that locker room, right?
I mean, I definitely circled it on the calendar once or twice, Madelyn. I'm not going to lie. And everybody in this area understands how big the Cowboy game is. And it's important that, you know, who knows, a win against the Cowboys can really lift this team forward.
You got to get that positive momentum, that positive juice going as they go into the NFC East division game, starting with the Cowboys next week, the Washington football game after that. And, you know, we'll be here every week at 11:30 Eastern on MSG Networks with more Giants post-game wrap-up. For Victor, I'm Madelyn. Thanks for watching.